Good evening, everybody. Got my Larry hat on. That's a hat Larry gave me back when we first met about 2-3 years ago. But yeah, today we are gonna cook. There's some tenderloin, and I had a fan send me a knife set. It came with a spoon and a fork that's white and green. I got the spoon in my bucket, but we were gonna try this fire sticks, kind of like the ones Loretta sent, but never used a fire disc. Actually, until the last couple of years, I never used any of this stuff. I just used paper or a beer flap, but I kind of slimmed down. I converted over to my summer pack. Since I'm not carrying that much weight, I kind of condensed everything down where it'd be a lot lighter. So let me get a fire going. I've already got it set up to burn. I just need to get the ignition started, and there's where the train will stop. There's the tracks. I'll try to get it going and get that smoke down before a train goes by. Alright, yeah, these they just pull out like this, and I just break them. Let's see how they do. I'm gonna take some of this paper over here and just see how good this stuff is. I think I'll throw that fire ring on there too, or down in there. I don't think these things are working too well. Well, maybe. Yeah, it's getting going there. Now if I can just feed it over to the other side. Get a shave and a haircut while I'm at it. And we will prepare those steaks. I've had those steaks a couple of days on me. If you ever go to a store, spend about $4 on one of these. See how it's lined with silver, and it's padded too. It's like bubble wrap, and it'll keep foods cold, ice cream frozen. I mean, it is well worth it. And I got some good Irish butter, so we'll let that kind of warm up in the sun, so it'll melt easy when we wrap it in the foil. Well, I had to come out of that coat. Yeah. Getting going good now, so we'll prepare them steaks. I think, yeah, this came with that pack that Matt sent. I've had these on me during the ride down to Cleveland, Chattanooga, and back to Knoxville, to Bristol and Radford. Yeah, these bags I've always used everywhere. All those places I just named, and I mean, you can go anywhere. And they'll even be in the sun, and they'll stay cold inside there, because that'll reflect the heat back. And the same thing with hot goods. If you have something hot you want to keep hot, well, it works the same way. Alright, I need to start feeding on some bigger stuff, so I'm going to turn the camera off for now. Alright, got some good thick stuff on there. You don't want to cook on that, it's too hot. Too many toxins. You got to let that burn down to cold, because that's a lot of toxins in there too. Got my little lady finger case knife. That is a swell knife. My pawpaw had nothing but cases. So did my dad. He liked Uncle Henry too. Or old Henry, I mean. We're just getting this out to prepare these. Thanks to Matt for Christmas. And I give a shout out to a guy named Rusty. Rusty's Barbecue in Lampasas, Texas. He sent, last few days ago, I got a letter in the mail from him. He sent me 20 bucks walking around money and one of his business cards, and so I texted him when I got the phone number and thanked him from the bottom of my heart. I couldn't appreciate it more when... here we go. I can't believe they're still a little frozen. Now we will let them kind of thaw before we wrap them up. I don't want to wrap them up yet, because that foil will just impede the thawing process. But anyway, yeah, I had another fan send me a package that had probably 10 or 12 of these little keychains, and I'd been looking for these rubber ones for so long. I didn't think they made them anymore. You can wash them, put them in the dryer, and that never fades or comes off. I put them on the zippers of my coat. Put them on the zipper. It's easier to unzip and zip. Yep, you just pull right up. Here's, I think I may have shared this before, but if you got a Carhartt or a coat with a metal zipper and you're having issues with that zipping, take you some chapstick. Take the lid off the chapstick and rub that chapstick all the way up both sides of the chain, all the way to the front, top and bottom. That will zip like butter. But anyway, we're getting some coals slowly going. That's some good wood. It's not burning too fast. It's not green to where it's not burning. It's just right. Not giving off any smoke, which is good, but it depends on how you build your fire too. You got to keep your logs, your sticks separated so that air can flow through. Because if you got too much wood touching, it's going to give off smoke, and that's going to draw attention. I may hang that hammock from there to that tree this time. You know, I didn't quite have all this ingredients I needed, but I think I'm gonna start cooking some recipes out of my own cookbooks. And you can find my cookbooks at shoestringarmy.com on the merchandise site. You can download them and fix them up outdoors just like I do. Alright, I'm going to take one of these. I'm going to take that Irish cream butter. We're going to cut it right down the middle. The Irish butter just melts so much easier, and it just soaks into the meat or pork or whatever you're cooking so much easier, and the taste is just out of this world. Put one on each side, roll it up and over, keep rolling it like a burrito, fold your sides in, keep rolling, make sure you don't roll no leaves up. If you do, it don't matter. Actually, the sycamore leaves from the sycamore tree, these actually give a really good taste if you can put a few of them like on top of your steak. It's almost like using a bay leaf, but you're using a sycamore leaf. They have a similar taste. Now we'll take the second sheet. So many vines. Take this last piece of butter here. The only downfall about Irish butter is that it melts at a lot warmer temperature than regular homogenized milk butter. Alright. Now what'll happen is once I put these on the coals, that butter will melt and surround that steak, and it'll more or less fry it inside. But the way you wrap it up, the way you bend your sides, make sure those are pointing up so your butter don't drain out. Alright. My hands are all buttery. Can't touch the buttons. Alright, I try to get rid of... Normally I don't burn plastic, but we're not going to be cooking you on that yet. So it'll burn down and completely gone by the time we're ready to cook. Take a look around. We'll police the area. I remember when I was in the Army, we'd go on bivouac, and I always had the job, it seemed, of policing the area. They always left 2 guys of each company in charge of watching the bivouac. Everybody left their gear under the tent. Everybody'd go out and do their exercises. There were 64 of us in Charlie Company. Oh, here's some good kindling. Yeah, at Fort Dix, I was Alpha Company, 4th Brigade, 39th Infantry. Then I went on to Fort Rucker, Alabama for my AIT. My MOS was 67 Victor, helicopter mechanic. And it wasn't anything like really big, you know. I sure didn't get to fly them or fly in them, but sure repaired a lot of seats, a lot of cosmetic work, patching seats, checking hydraulic levels, make sure the mother keys are not worn down too much. But anyway, that was another life ago. Doing like a 4-year-old. Mark, don't wipe your nose on your sleeve. I can remember my granny always saying that. Mark, stop putting your hands in your mouth. Stop rubbing your nose on your sleeve. You're gonna get a disease. Of course, Granny was born in 1920. She lived to be 92 years old. And on my dad's side, his mom lived to be 97, I believe it is. But back on my mom's side of the family, my grandmother's mom, we all called her Mom, even though she was my great-grandmother. She lived to be exactly 100 years old. She was born in 1900. And she passed away in year 2000. Isn't that something? And then my pawpaw on my mom's side, my mom's dad, was born in 1915, right there during World War I. So Granny and Pawpaw both went through the Great Depression. So Granny was always one of them that if there was ever a war break out, like when Desert Storm broke out and the Iraqi war, she was like, we better go out and buy a bunch of toilet paper and water and tinfoil. But, you know, back then they didn't have mass production like they do now. I mean, good Lord, they make it by the billions and billions of tons. You ever see videos on how they make aluminum foil? It's amazing on how big of a roll that stuff comes off of. And these box cars, the ones that haul rolls of paper, them things are, oh gosh, I'd say 8 foot in circumference all the way around and maybe 12 foot high. Just rolled up paper. You could probably roll it out and it'd be 2 miles long. And Georgia Pacific, my brother Ross worked for them for about 18 years, I believe. And they'd get box cars in, they'd have to load with Georgia Pacific paper. They make everything from toilet paper to tissue paper to writing paper to envelopes. They made everything there at that St. Francisville Port Hudson plant. They're off of Highway 61 and north of Baton Rouge. They still live in St. Francisville. St. Francisville is about 18 miles south of Angola, the Louisiana State Penitentiary. Every now and then, when I'd go visit for a few days, you'd hear about somebody escape. There's a manhunt going on, helicopters flying over. So I thought, man, that's pretty often they escape in Angola. But the stories I heard about Angola, I don't blame anybody wanting to escape from there. Here's some more cedar. Hey, I hear something. Y'all hear a train? Maybe it's just my imagination wanting it to be. The only thing I hate about this, cracking wood like this, is you can hear that 2 miles away when you snap wood. And when people hear that, they know exactly what it is. There we go. There is a house over there about, quarter mile, so I guess I should hold my voice down. Just in case this is their land. I didn't bring a certain item on this trip, but anyway, yeah, that's giving off quite a bit of smoke there. I don't like that. But if you're ever out riding around and you start getting bad body odors, stand in front of a fire. Get that smoke on you. I was right. There's that trash train again. Well, that train come up out of nowhere. I knew I could feel the rumble more than I could hear it. People try to get me to explain to them if I'm deaf, completely deaf in my right ear, and I'm 40% deaf in my left. How can I know what's going on so well? Well, it's a combination of vibration, and if I know what subject's being talked about, I can pick up on key words, key syllables, and certain verbs you know to expect when you're talking about a certain subject. So you more or less expect to hear what you hear, if that makes sense, in a conversation. Now my eyes, that's a different story. I see silhouette, but I can't see a person's pupil or iris or nostrils. I can see their lips moving a little bit. Now he's got regular junk on the back, and there's them cars they were talking about. Yeah, I thought they were rock cars, but Billy said they haul zinc oxide in those. There's a Cadillac. There's a lip drainer. Another lip. I could tell all that's empty. The ground not even shaking. Adios, amigos. Alright. I just hope you didn't see the smoke. I knew I should have brought my scanner on this trip. I could hear if he's reporting me. Ouch. Alright, come on, we need to get some coal and get this cooked. Well, if the cops show up in the next 30 minutes, we'll know. But if they don't, He must have not seen nothing. Boy, I'm telling you, these are like having 4 cups of coffee at once. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Ernie. He went to the same school I did in the military, Fort Rucker, for his AIT. He's 67 Victor also. Give a shout out to my friend George in California. He sent me a bag of the Alpine mint chocolates. Oh, I'm still eating on them. And my friend Larry and my friend Gibb, my friend Lawrence and his mom. So many people I could go down the list and thank. But yep, it's just about time to see that wood, even though it's not burnt down to coal, is low enough temperature I can at least cook partially out of the way a little. That way it'll slow cook in that butter. Oh yeah, better flip them around. That's the side with the butter will leak out if I don't. Alright. Man, I can already smell that butter and that meat together. Man, that was quick. I wish y'all could smell this. What was that old, back in the 1950s, a guy predicted smell-o-vision, where you could actually smell the food watching TV. He called it smell-o-vision. I had to add a little more heat. That sycamore burns real slow, but it sure gives a good taste. Oh, by the way, Jerry wanted me to mention that he's going to turn colored shoestring shirts back on. So you can choose, I think, 26 or 27 different colored hobo shoestring shirts. And I think they're the cotton beefy tees. I'm not that sure. He's in charge of all the merchandise and the mailing and the design and stuff like that, and I just approve it. But anyway, just thought I'd mention the colored shirts. You can order any color you want now. He's gonna turn them back on as soon as this video airs. Anyway, I can't wait till them steaks are done. Matter of fact, tenderloin's about the only meat, like beef, that I can eat, because I don't have no teeth. You know, earlier in my life, for like 27, 28 years, you know, I was drinking 40, 50 cans of beer a day, and that just dehydrated me, and all that sugar in the beer. And back in about 2007, I started getting the enamel right on the gum line in my 2 front top teeth. Started deteriorating down to the cumin, or whatever that second layer is called. Then it spread to the canine teeth and just worked its way back. But then it started working its way down, the enamel coming off. Then my teeth kind of turned a white color, like an oxidized, really nasty color. So they were pulling one tooth at a time as it got abscessed, and they pulled like 4 or 5 that way. And finally, in late 2007, it just got, my teeth got so bad, they just went ahead and just took all my teeth out. So I wouldn't have to keep going in like every 4 months and having one taken out. Because it was like a domino effect. Once one tooth goes bad, if you don't take care of it, it just falls downhill. But anyway, I have been sober now, going on nearly 9 years now, 8.5 years. I've seen a couple of comments on 3 videos back when I got off that train that went into emergency. Well, I'd been riding all night and my whole face was frozen. Your lips are frozen. You can't, you're talking like this. Plus, I had like 4 hours sleep in 2-day time period. So that's why I was sluggish talking. So, plus all the walking and carrying the gear, anybody would talk that way. But anyway, enough of that subject. Give y'all another panoramic. We'll go up here and see what's going on. Yeah, if I'm gonna be at a camp for any particular amount of time, I'll go in and out of my camp at a different spot each time. That way you don't leave a trail. If you start leaving a trail, people will notice. You know how people are, they gotta investigate. Let's see if we see anybody walking down this way. Walk this way, talk this way. I don't see anybody at Massengill. That's an odd name for a road. La 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 la. Obladi, oblada. Life goes on. Yeah, I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the bear chases my blues away. And I'll be okay. I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the bear chases the blues away. And I'll be okay. And I got friends in boxcars from the grainers and the tankers. Alright, let's check on our meat. Yeah, I really appreciate these sets. I had a nice fan send me a set. I got the spoon in my bag, in my bucket. It's white and green like this, real sturdy. Light, light, light. Easy to clean up. I take them everywhere with me. And I've tried just about every single kind of camping cookware, but I'm not even sure the brand of it. But I really enjoy having them. Now this one's one I got at Walmart. You can get a spoon, knife, and fork for like $1.19. But if you get them like in boiling water, stirring noodles, they get real soft and start bending. You don't want that. But them green and white knives don't do that. I wish y'all could smell that meat. Come on, we need a train to stop. Alright, time to move some heat around a little. There's our one tenderloin, and there's our second one. Them coals are perfect now. Now we'll just rake all the stuff from the outer edges inward. See how it's not even smoking now. Wish it would have been this way when that train went by, but it's been about 40 minutes. Nobody's been down here, so he either didn't see it, that train engineer, or he just didn't mind. He didn't care. 'Cause anybody on the railroad that sees somebody with a backpack and smoke and a campfire, they're going to suspect it's either me or a handful of others. I'll give a shout out to the yard buzzards. Yeah, we're hopefully one day meet up, take a ride together, make a video together. Thing is, it's hard enough riding with just one person. You know, I have taken people out who've never ridden before, and I've ridden with people who've ridden for years. And the thing is, there's no place. I mean, you barely have enough room on a grainer for yourself. So where's your partner gonna go when you're hiding in the hole or around the corner? And if you're going into a yard, you just can't get on top of the train. They're sure enough gonna see you. I've never done it, but I've heard of people riding tankers. They crawl up that ladder on the side of the tank car all the way to the top where that lid is, and there's like a cage around it, you know, where you can hold on, railing, and they call that riding the crow's nest. So I mean, I've been almost desperate enough, like last week in Hagerstown. I was so desperate, I was about ready to ride the crow's nest, you know, during the dark. Now, I have climbed up on top of a lumber car before. It was loaded with lumber, 2x4s. I climbed all the way on top and just sat up there, hair blowing in the wind, going along Highway 90 from San Antonio all the way to Houston. And I remember a couple of people, this was back in the early 90s, a couple of people seen me up there on Highway 90, and they slowed their car down, and the first lady rolled down her back window. She was sitting in the back and held a camera out and took a picture of me. And a couple of other people took my picture. Then one time from Shreveport to Monroe, back when that was Mid-South, back in the 90s, it was a railroad called Mid-South. And that line between Shreveport and Monroe, that took about 6 hours, 7 to 8 hours to ride to Monroe. You'd do about 20, 25 miles an hour if you're lucky. That old bolted rail, clickety-clack. Well, anyway, they had a flatbed and they had a backhoe chained down to it. And that's what I rode, and it was open. So I opened the door and sat in the seat of that backhoe, shut the door, and a couple of people seen me in there and waved at me, and I waved back at them. I've ridden a couple of military trains before. You can't get in them. I tried getting in a tank. They were hauling tanks and Humvees and different transport vehicles. But I did ride in between a couple of tanks. Then I rode in the front seat of a transportation truck. They had a bunch of duffel bags and stuff in back, but the windows were rolled down and it was unlocked. And I only rode from Baton Rouge down to New Orleans, and that was the only military train I ever seen on that line, on that Kansas City Southern, KCS, from Baton Rouge to New Orleans. And that's the only place on the railroad I've ever seen them use pea gravel instead of using ballast rock, big different size chunk rock that big around. They use little pea gravel. That stuff is so hard to walk in. It's like walking in dry sand, like wearing high heels on the beach. You ain't going nowhere. I mean, it takes a lot of energy to walk in dry sand. So you can imagine walking in slippery pea gravel. The gravel is no bigger than a pencil eraser, if that. And that's what they use for ballast from Baton Rouge all the way down to New Orleans. Especially in the yard in Baton Rouge. That stuff is a nuisance. You know, you could hear railroad workers walking down that cussing. If I catch the son of a gun who tried this pea gravel instead of ballast, I'll choke him to death. I mean, it is hard walking in pea gravel. But anyway, she's giving off a lot of smoke. I need to get a plane going to stop that. There we go. Now, let's stop that smoke. You can see that smoke is blowing right across the tracks too. I don't want that. Especially with that sun going down at that angle, it's shining through more smoke. There we go. Our meat's almost ready. Ya hanga haga. Hoochie hoochie hacha. Hacha hoochoo. Hinga haga. Hoo wiki hookie. Ushi dooshi. Yaka haka. Woo, hot. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Let's cook up some good dinner here and then we'll move on down the tracks. What do you say about that? I don't know, but I've been told Eskimo toes are really cold. Oh. Alrighty, we are getting close to supper time now. Oops, oops, up. Hiya, hunger. Hunger, hiya. Look, Java, I was just on my way to pay you back. Droid. Jedi. Jedi. That'll be the last mistake you ever make. Boba Fett, where? Anyway, we will cook until it's done. It's almost done. So, look at this smoke shower. Good smoke shower. Thought I heard somebody. Almost done. Not quite, but getting close. Let me smoke again. it's going down. Don't let the sun go down on. Alright, let's get one of these out and open it up. Yaya hanga. Uchi Grucci. Woo wee. La la hala. Alright. Shrank a bit, didn't it? Perfect for my knife if I can get it out. My little lady finger. Boy, if I had a lady with a finger that big, man, should be. Oh, tender. Look at that. Well done too. Because I've had this meat out for a couple of days, so it's kind of good to do it well done. That way any bacteria, I like it a little redder and pinker, but I also don't want to get food poisoning or anything. Let's see how it tastes. Let's see. Hot, hot, hot. So tender though. You can taste that sycamore. Gives it like a bay leaf type taste to it. To me it does anyway. Yeah, leave in the comments what you think about it. I'll start cooking some things out of my cookbooks. And if you hadn't checked them out yet, go to shoestringarmy.com and check out my cookbooks. They're all stuff I've cooked out here on the rails. Also, the t-shirts are all the colors are turned back on. Be nice to have some English muffins with some butter to go on them. English muffins pack pretty good in that bucket. If you ain't got a bucket, they still don't mash much. A lot of people tell me, lose the bucket. I'm like, are you kidding me? No way. That thing's a seat. Get inside boxcars with it easier. There it is. Took me forever to find that 67 Victor patch, but I got them side by side. I'm having that soft seat, and it turns too. Yeah, I got a dog leash I can clip. I got a hole cut right here. I clip that dog leash through there. When I get up in a boxcar, I stand on the bucket. It helps me get in the boxcar Of course, keep the dog leash in your hand. That way you can pull your bucket up in the boxcar with you. Otherwise, there's no use in using it if you can't get to your bucket. Anyway, I'll get that other one out, wrap it in a bag, and eat it later tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed the cooking video. Anyway, I hope everybody had a nice Valentine's Day and got to spend good time with your loved ones. And if there's anybody out there watching who's sick, I pray for your health and your happiness and your longevity. And I hope that my videos bring you a little more happiness into your life. Anyway, I'm going to sign out on the cooking part for now. And y'all have a good evening. I'm going to finish setting up camp. I've already looked above me. That's the main thing you do. I do see one branch just hanging by vines that's ready to fall. But I'm going to set the hammock up over there. You always look upwards over you to make sure there ain't no rotten, dead branches and stuff that could fall on you. Because something over 6 inches in diameter falls from that height and hits you just right, you're gonna die. You don't want that. Nobody does. Like that branch there, if it fell and hit me in the head just right, it'd spear me. But I know the camera makes it look higher up, but it's probably 12 foot to the bottom of that stick there, so it wouldn't hit hard. Plus, it's probably light from being rotten. But anyway, let me get this cleaned up and put a little water on the fire and put it out.